The greatest mass extinction events were driven by acidic oceans, according to a new study. We've had many mass extinction events on Earth. This is by University of Edinburgh scientists on phys.org. Changes to our Earth's oceans caused by extreme volcanic activity. The super eruptions, obviously. One of the last ones being 27,500 years ago from the North Island of Taupo in New Zealand. Anthropologists estimated that only about 2,000 couples of humans were left alive from that extinction level event. So, a study suggests that the event, which took place 252 million years ago, wiped out more than 90% of marine species and more than 2/3 of the animals living on land. 252 million years ago. So we've had a lot of extinction level events since then. Can you imagine the changes? Now, what happened when Earth's oceans absorbed huge amounts of carbon dioxide from volcanic eruptions, researchers say? And even our oceans today are absorbing carbon dioxide. Now, this changed the chemical composition of the oceans, making them more acidic, with catastrophic consequences for life on Earth, the team says. The study, coordinated by University of Edinburgh, is the first to show that highly acidic oceans were to blame for this. The findings are helping scientists understand the threat posed to marine life by modern-day ocean acidification. The amount of carbon added to the atmosphere that triggered the mass extinction was probably greater than today's fossil fuel reserves, the team says, but the carbon was released at a rate similar to modern emissions. This fast rate of release was a critical factor driving ocean acidifications, the researchers said. The Permian-Triassic boundary extinction took place over a 60,000-year period, researchers say. Acidification of the oceans lasted for about 10,000 years. Ocean acidification was the driving force behind the deadliest phase of the extinction, which dealt a final blow to an already unstable ecosystem. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. The researchers say increased temperatures and widespread loss of oxygen in the oceans had already put the environment under pressure. Oceans can absorb some carbon dioxide, but the large volume released at such a fast rate changed the chemistry of the oceans, they said. So the mass extinction of both marine and land-based animals demonstrates that extreme change took place in all of Earth's ecosystems, the team says. The team analyzed rocks unearthed in the United Arab Emirates, this is where they had their fieldwork, which were on the ocean floor at that time. Let's remember that the ocean was about 600 feet higher level than it is today. So it was the ocean floor at that time. They analyzed a rock from there to develop a climate model to work out what drove the extinction. The rocks preserve a detailed record of changing oceanic conditions at the time. The study, published in the journal Science, was carried out in collaboration with the University of Bremen, Germany, and the University of Exeter of the UK, together with the University of Graz, Leeds, and Cambridge. Funding provided by International Centre for Carbonate Reservoirs Natural Environment Research Council, the Leverthulde Trust, German Research Foundation, and the Marsden Fund. Dr. Matthew Clarkson of the University of Edinburgh School of Geoscience, who co-authored the study, said, "Scientists have long suspected that an ocean acidification event occurred during the greatest mass extinction of all time, but direct evidence has been lacking up to now. This is a worrying finding, considering that we can already see an increase in ocean acidity today that is a result of human carbon emissions." Professor Rachel Wood, University of Edinburgh School of Geoscience, says, "This work was highly collaborative, and the results were only possible because we assembled a unique team of geochemists, geologists, and modelers to tackle an important and long-standing problem." This is by University of Edinburgh, phys.org. And let's talk about the oxygen depleted toxic oceans, and the key role in the mass extinction of over 200 million years ago, having to do with the ocean acidification and the oxygen depletion, of course, turning the oceans toxic. Oxygen depletion, toxic oceans had a key role in the mass extinction over 200 million years ago, according to the University of Southampton. Changes in the biochemical balance of the ocean were a crucial factor in the end Triassic mass extinction, during which half of all the plants, animals, and marine life on Earth perished, according to the new research involving the University of Southampton. The study, published in upcoming edition of Geology, reveals that a condition called the marine photic zone, euxenia, took place in the Panthalastic Ocean, the larger of the two oceans surrounding the supercontinent of, at that time, Pangaea. So we do have a lot of Earth changes in the past tens of millions of years. Photic zone euxenia occurs when the sunlit surface waters of the ocean become devoid of oxygen and are poisoned by hydrogen sulfide, and by product of microorganisms that live without oxygen. That's extremely toxic, of course, to most other life forms. The international team of researchers studied fossilized organic molecules extracted from sedimentary rocks that originally accumulated on the bottom of northeastern Panthalastic Ocean, but are now exposed to on the Queen Charlotte Islands off the coast of British Columbia and Canada. The team found molecules derived from photosynthesizing brown pigmented green sulfur bacteria, microorganisms that only exist under severely anoxic conditions, that means without oxygen, proving severe oxygen depletion and hydrogen sulfide poisoning of the upper ocean at the end of Triassic, 201 million years ago. The researchers also documented marked changes in the nitrogen composition of organic matter, indicating that disruptions in marine nutrient cycles coincided with the development of low oxygen conditions. Previous studies reported evidence of photic zone euxenia from terrestrial and shallow near-shore environments during the latest Triassic, but the new research is the first to provide such evidence from an open ocean setting, indicating these changes may have occurred on a global scale. Global extinction from the depleted oxygen from the oceans. The University of Southampton's Professor Jessica Whiteside, who co-authored the study, explains, as tectonic plates shifted to break up Pangaea, huge volcanic rifts would have spewed carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, leading to rising temperatures from the greenhouse effect. The rapid rises in CO2 would have triggered changes in ocean circulation, acidification, and deoxygenation of the ocean. These changes have the potential to disrupt nutrient cycles and alter food chains, essentially for the survival of marine ecosystems. Our data now provides direct evidence that anoxic and ultimately euxenic conditions severely affected the food chains. The same CO2 rise that led to the oxygen-depleted oceans also led to a mass extinction on land and ultimately to the ecological takeover by dinosaurs, although the mechanisms are still under study. Although the Earth was different, very different during the Triassic period compared to today, the rate of carbon dioxide released from volcanic rifts are similar to those that we are experiencing now through the burning of fossil fuels. Professor Whiteside comments the release of CO2 was probably at least as rapid as that caused by the burning of fossil fuels today. Although the initial concentrations were much higher in the Triassic, the consequences of rapidly rising CO2 in ancient times informs us of the possible consequences of our own carbon dioxide crisis. And this is from University of Southampton on phys.org. So obviously this was initiated by the tremendous volcanic activity and volcanic toxic gases and ash deposits as well. This is what caused the mass extinction event and the acidification of the oceans at that time. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support.